The news at noon starts right now.
Firefighters in South Bexar County say the finish line could be in sight when it comes to putting out a very large grass fire.
So this is off of Silver Mountain Drive, not far from Loop 1604 and Applewhite Road. Well, crews have been working since yesterday afternoon to extinguish the flames, which started in someone's backyard.
Katrina Weber is at the scene and tells us the fire grew overnight, but so did the containment.
We just had a briefing a little while ago with the assistant chief for the Bexar County Emergency Services District 2. He says that the winds overnight did kick up the size of the fire to about 400 acres, but he also says that it is at least 70% contained right now, possibly even more. Unlike other grass fires that we've seen lately, the damage from this one has been minimal. Firefighters say only one barn is burned. Still, they weren't taking chances when it came to people. About 30 homes were evacuated overnight, and most of those people have since been able to return home. Firefighters say it looks like this may have started as a controlled burn in someone's backyard and got out of control. Now, they say they will remain in this area to make sure that nothing sparks up again, and they say they'll be out here for the foreseeable future, keeping watch especially on those areas that burn. Now, going back to what I mentioned about that controlled burn, firefighters say that it does seem like it was something that got out of hand behind a home in this general area where we're standing. But they say the fire investigator, the fire marshal, will be looking more into that. And as far as any charges, they say there is no burn ban that's in effect right now, but that investigation will determine whether there's any need for charges. Reporting from South Bexar County, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
And just in the last few minutes, the Texas A&M Forest Service updated its website saying the Silver Mountain fire is now 90% contained. Even though we saw lots of rain in June and July, it still does not mean we are out of the woods when it comes to drought. Being in drought still makes us susceptible to wildfires. The second wildfire season has started and runs through October. Lieutenant Stuart Henriksen with SAFD Wildfire shows us how to make the outside of your home fire resistant.
So if we look over at this bush here, worst case scenario, it's not irrigated, it's dying out, it's not maintained. This bush catches on fire and it's next to that window, and you have drapes or curtains or blinds that are combustible inside your house.
Coming up at 6 o'clock tonight, Henriksen shows how mowing and clearing brush can help create barriers between your home and a wildfire.
And with Live Cam, we are looking at a hot day, a couple of puffy cumulus clouds out there, those fair weather Toy Story clouds that Courtney likes to call them. We are going to be looking at a hot afternoon, though. I want to show you the satellite picture right now because there are some downpours closer to Beeville and Victoria. This is the area that's going to have the chance for rain the next couple of days, nearer to the coast. Otherwise, it is hot out there. It's already near 90 degrees in San Antonio. It's 90 in Del Rio, 90 in New Braunfels, 90 in Freer, and 93 in Corpus Christi. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the day. 99 for the high, feeling like 103. We'll be looking at clearer skies this evening and temperatures falling into the 80s. You might notice there's a little bit of haze out there from some smoke. That's smoke from wildfires in Canada and in parts of Colorado. I have a look at your air quality forecast and a check of the tropics coming up.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, the Guadalupe River is still a topic of conversation this noon, and now a month after the deadly Hill Country floods, people in Kerr County are starting to figure out how they can restore the river. Well, in Center Point, people gathered to form a collaboration between Hill Country nonprofits and local river authorities. Their goal is to create unity after the tragedy. Well, last night they began creating a plan on how the community wants to move forward with debris management and regrowth along the riverbed. And if you missed the meeting last night, there are two more this week, today and tomorrow from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So today's meeting is going to be in Ingram at Tom Moore High School, and tomorrow's meeting will be in Kerrville at the Trailhead Beer Garden.
Well, kids head back to school very soon. Some districts already have. And in SAISD, one concern is over the temperatures inside the classrooms. That district has been plagued by HVAC issues, which they've been working to address. Patty Santos found out what the district has upgraded to keep kids cool as they head back to class.
So this is your pride and joy here.
Yes.
Steven Rodriguez makes sure the lights are on, the heating and air works, and toilets flush at all of San Antonio ISD's 90-plus campuses.
The systems are going to work as well as they can based on the age of the equipment.
This summer, crews have been doing maintenance on all of the school's HVAC systems. Gates Elementary School just got a new chiller.
This is an air handler, and so what we've been doing is changing out the filters, ensuring that the filters are
these
good.
filters, right?
Yeah.
The problem for a 125-year-old school district is things are old.
What is the oldest system that you have?
We use an age type of equipment called a two-pipe system. That's what I've noticed, probably the oldest part of our systems that need to get replaced.
Is this like from the 70s, from the 80s, and the 90s?
Two-pipe system is probably 70s.
In 2020, voters approved a historic $1.3 billion bond. 5 years later, the district says $77 million have been used to improve HVAC systems at 41 campuses. Another $27.3 million will be spent by 2028 to improve 12 more campuses.
I'd say we probably have about 20 campuses that, will come and approach end of life cycle within the next 2 years.
It'd be great for us to come.
Yvonne Little oversees bond money. Why has it taken so long to get these upgrades? Old buildings, she says, require specific plans.
Right now, the lead time for chillers and major HVAC components is about 4 to 6 months. So getting that material here and then getting it installed, you're looking at a year-long project.
Well, students heading into Lanier and Edison High School will step into cooler campuses this year, and Highlands High School is next on the list. To read the list of campuses that have already received upgrades, head to KSAT.com and search for HVAC.
Well, today, the San Antonio City Council is holding a special session to review 2 key reports on the proposed sports and entertainment district, the economic impact analysis, and the community engagement report. So the reports are available at sa.gov/sports district under the reports section. The city wants people to check out these newly released reports to understand how the district might impact the community and what feedback has been shared. During today's session, neighbors will be able to engage as city leaders discuss the findings and the next steps.
Governor Greg Abbott now asking the Texas Supreme Court to remove State Representative Jean Wu from office. Wu chairs the Texas House Democratic Caucus and was among the lawmakers who left the state to block a vote on the new congressional district map. Governor Abbott argues that by doing so, Wu has forfeited his position. He's requesting an emergency ruling by tomorrow. Texas Democrats still face the threat of arrest for breaking quorum. Later today, they'll hold a press conference to address the redistricting efforts. Well, shoppers have a new option today for groceries and other household items in the ever-growing far northwest side of town. The new College Park HEB opened its doors this morning off Loop 1604 near the main UTSA campus. RJ Marquez was there for all the excitement and tells us what this means for the future of this area and the families who live there.
Dozens of shoppers were out before the sun came up to get their first look at this new HEB on the far northwest side.
I'm very excited. I'm taking care of my mom, and she lives near here.
John and Karen Ponish have lived in Helotes for more than 15 years and seen the area absolutely boom.
1604 used to be just 2-lane road, it wasn't the big highway that it was now. We used to live down by SeaWorld, and it was just took forever to get over in this area.
This new HEB is also a prime spot for families that live off of Babcock Road and Kyle Steele Parkway. Before this location, the closest big grocers were the Bandera and De Zavala HEBs and the Walmart on De Zavala.
It's been challenging, with the amount of growth and, all the construction and all that, but we're hopeful that everything will be a lot better.
Natalie and Juanita are part of the Garcia Elementary PTA and feel the growth is needed, especially with the start of school.
If you do it well and you do it the correct way by basing it on what the community needs are, then I think you will be efficient and you will continue to grow into the future.
And speaking of class, this new HEB fills a need for a big grocery store near UTSA's main campus. There's also more international food options for students and faculty. And just to give you an idea of how convenient this is for UTSA students, check this out. You're looking at a dorm that is on the main campus. Now, if we swing around here, I'm standing at the front entrance of this HEB. I put this in my phone. It takes just about 20 minutes to walk from the main campus over here to this front entrance. Only a 3-minute drive. Definitely convenient for not only the students, but for several people in this growing area.
Even for students who live off of or on campus in the dorms, a lot of students don't have access to like their own transportation. They have to use public transportation, which is a lot. But here, like, you can just walk down the street and you're at HEB.
And for those driving, the recently opened flyover ramp from I-10 West to 1604 East shows the growth is not about to slow down anytime soon. On the far northwest side, RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Well, a team with an impressive winning streak ready for the new high school football season, how they're hoping to keep the momentum going.
And as kids head back to class, parents in one community are not sure if their child's school will stay open, how this is affecting families.
Well, we know it is back to school season. In less than a week, students are supposed to return to the Bexar County Academy Charter School.
But parents are just now finding out the school could be shutting down. John Paul Barajas explains how this is keeping families in limbo.
Enrolling now. That's the message in the Bexar County Academy Charter School on the northwest side. However, classes are supposed to start this upcoming Monday, and parents are just now finding out that the school might be closing for good.
School is about to start. Her school, if it is going to stay open, it's supposed to start on August 11th, as well as a lot of other schools. So I feel that a week, like, how much can I get done in a week?
Regina Vogelsberg explains she re-enrolled her daughter at the end of the last school year, adding she called the school last week because she thought it was strange no Meet the Teacher night had been scheduled.
Like, I had to call them to find out what's going on.
You would hope that they would have a decision already in place.
That's another thing that frustrates me, is the fact that if there's going to be a school that's going to shut down, at least let us know 2 months in advance so that way the parents can have enough time to prepare for all this.
On top of the frustration from not being given a heads up about the situation, Vogelsberg says there's also a lack of knowledge on what's going on her daughter's campus.
Hello, ma'am. My name is John Paul Barajas, work with KSAT.
Made a stop and spoke to the principal for ourselves.
Just 7 days before school is supposed to start, we're still in limbo.
Basically, yeah.
For parents concerned, were they not notified that this could have happened, or?
All of that has to be directed to Mr. Miller. As far as I'm concerned, I'm opening up on Monday. My staff came back today, and that's where we're at.
If that doesn't happen, is there any advice for parents who would be looking for a school or scrambling to find a school?
They are to contact the superintendent.
And you still no idea when a decision will be made? Is that concerning for you?
Of course. Of course. I have no answers. I don't know what's going to happen. And that's like God on this truth.
According to the Texas Education Agency, there was 153 students enrolled at that campus in 2024. At this time, it is not clear why closing the school is being considered and how long they've known about this possibility. The charter school superintendent is based in Dallas. We have emailed him multiple times and are still waiting to hear back. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
It is a hot afternoon. We are seeing temperatures climb already into the 90s. And rain chances, they're going to be few and far between. That's not good news when it comes to the aquifer. So the aquifer is actually down 0.4 of a foot in the last 24 hours, now below 630 feet. It's almost 30 feet below the monthly average there. And when we look at the pollen count, molds are moderate. They are down from yesterday at 510. Outside right now, the air quality is moderate too. That's not too bad, but the reason for the moderate air quality, smoke. I'll have those details coming up. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm KSAT meteorologist Sarah Spivey. Outside right now, we are looking at a pretty warm afternoon, and there's a bit of haze outside. And the reason for that is the air quality is a little lower. It's moderate because of some smoke out there. What I'm showing you is the satellite image from space, and you can see some smoke from off of Colorado, off of the mountains there. And there's been some fires in Utah, as well as, of course, some fires in Canada, too. Now, all of the smoke is following the upper levels pattern of the wind. And you can see that there's a high pressure system right here that's bringing in some of that smoke from the north. I want to mention too that there is that fire in South Bexar County. It's now 90% contained, up from 70% contained, the Silver Mountain fire. So there could be some smoke in the air the next couple of days, not necessarily from that fire in South Bexar County, but from those fires in Canada. So air quality is going to be okay. It's going to be moderate today, tomorrow, and Friday. It could be a lot worse. Again, moderate is just one step down from perfect. So we're looking okay as far as the air quality goes. One thing I want to mention is that it is heating up. We have got heat index values already in the low 90s. 93 is what it feels like in San Antonio. Feels like 100 already in Gonzales. Feels like 91 in Uvalde, 90 in Bandera, 90 in Bernie, and 92 in Rio Medina. And this afternoon is going to be all about the heat. Mostly sunny. We've got a few clouds out there. 99 for the high. You'll notice I put a 10% chance for a stray shower. We do have some showers on the coastal plain closer to Beeville, Victoria. There's a very small off chance, 10%, that one or two of those would make it to San Antonio this afternoon and early evening. Otherwise, it's going to be a mild and quiet evening with temperatures falling to near 80 degrees by midnight. Take a look at the futurecast. That heat high overhead means it's going to be very hot in the coming days. We're going to see temperatures peak by Friday afternoon when we'll get up to 101 for the high in San Antonio. So a hot day in San Antonio for us over the next several days. And the only thing that could potentially break that up a little bit is a low pressure system coming in off of the Gulf by Sunday, Monday. It could allow for one or two isolated showers in San Antonio. So looking at that 7-day forecast, we are going to be hot near 100 degrees. This is fairly average for this time of year. This is our hottest time of the year typically, so it makes sense that we'll have a couple more triple-digit days there on deck. And then by early next week, a small 20% chance for a stray shower or storm. We are going to be talking more about the tropics coming up in the next half hour, but for now I want to plug Science with Sarah. It's back. If you wanted, round of applause. Thanks, if you want to apply for me to come out to your child's classroom, or if your teacher want me to come out there, scan that QR code. You'll be able to enter for a random drawing for me to come out to your schools this semester. I'm looking forward to it, baby. Science with Sarah is back.
How did Caskey make his way in just
I don't know.
That's awesome.
He always finds a way. Caskey finds a way.
just cheering us on.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you, Sarah. Well, his Spurs legend is sporting a new look. Why he's picking up a baseball instead of a basketball.
Well, the Poth football team, also known as the Kings of District 15 3A Division II, is home to one of the most impressive active winning streaks in high school football right now.
Well, they've been undefeated in district play since 2016.
We obviously line up and play each other, and then that night we want to kind of beat each other. But other than that, we root for each other. We're a pretty close-knit group.
I'm sure a little bit they're rooting against you guys at some point. At this point.
At this point, they are rooting for, I think, Poth to get knocked off, and honestly, streaks are meant to be broken. It is going to happen one day. Hopefully it's not under my watch, and hopefully, it ain't this year.
Well, yesterday the Pirates took the gridiron for their first practice for the 2025 season, and the only blemish on the program's record, last season game from a regional semifinals loss. Aside from that, Poth was undefeated, so continuing their brilliance in district play, still perfect since 2016. But 27th year head coach Jeff Luna doesn't consider last season a success because Poth has state title aspirations. Despite not winning it all, the Pirates have been dominant for a long time. And the secret? They are humble, and they never underestimate an opponent.
We don't want to be that class to lose that streak and break all the work that these classes have done for, nine years now. We don't want to be the ones to lose that. So we do carry a lot of pride in what we do.
We feel really good about it, but again, it's kind of they're scaring us too, because we got to show up and show out for the community and our team.
I think the coaches, they're really good coaches, teach us to do little things right, play hard all the time,
fight, just keep battling no matter the score. You know, they say our opponents are nameless, faceless, and just treat everyone the same.
This team could at any point lose we could lose our streak to that team because we slip up. We don't treat them like we should. They beat us. We lose that streak. But the coaches do a really good job of making us treat every opponent the same, practicing every week the same, every day the same.
We've made a name for ourselves, deep playoff runs every year. Everybody knows in the state that we're one of the top dogs.
Well, the Pirates senior class has been instrumental in making sure Poth is always playing around Thanksgiving time, and they don't want that undefeated district streak to end on their watch. Poth opens the season on the 29th at home against non-district foe Jourdanton.
Well, if you've ever wondered what Manu Ginobili would look like as a pitcher, here you go. He posted this AI image on social media. It was to announce that he's going to be throwing out the first pitch for the Mission's Hill Country Flood Relief Night this Saturday night.
AI is so creepy. That looks legit. I know. Ginobili is managing people's expectations, saying, quote, "It'll be my first time ever throwing a baseball. No experience unless you count skipping rocks growing up. Let's see if I can hit the strike zone or at least the zip code."
I think you'll do fine. Yeah, he'll be great.
Millions of dollars in critical funding used to develop vaccines to fight COVID-19 and the flu has been pulled by the Trump administration. I'm Rena Roy with what this all means coming up.
We have some breaking news we need to bring you coming out of Georgia. According to the Associated Press and other media outlets, there are 5 soldiers who have been shot on post at Fort Stewart there in Georgia.
Well, the shooter has been apprehended, and the AP is citing a post on Fort Stewart's social media page saying that the post was placed on lockdown, but that there's no further threat to the community there.
And of course, we're going to have more on this as new details develop. But right now, everyone now safe, but 5 soldiers were shot. No confirmed deaths right now.
Well, the Trump administration saying it will stop funding research into mRNA vaccines that have helped fight respiratory viruses like COVID-19.
As ABC's Rena Roy reports, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says he will pull hundreds of millions of dollars from vaccine development.
The Trump administration now pulling millions of dollars that would have gone to critical vaccine research. The Department of Health and Human Services canceling pharmaceutical contracts totaling $500 million in funding for the development of mRNA vaccines. HHS Secretary and longtime vaccine critic Robert F. Kennedy Jr. making the announcement Tuesday.
For some illnesses, mRNA vaccines may be very useful, and that would include cancers. But for upper respiratory infections, we canceled 22 trials for upper respiratory infections.
Infectious disease experts say mRNA vaccine technology, extensively studied since the early 2000s, is safe, and they credit its rollout during the first Trump administration with helping to slow the COVID-19 pandemic. They warn future pandemics will be harder to stop without the help of mRNA.
They can be produced rapidly, they have saved millions of lives, and we are using them to do research on things like HIV and cancer and RSV and CMV and all kinds of other viruses, even the flu virus. So that this is going to leave us very vulnerable. This is potentially a dangerous decision, according to many health experts.
Kennedy says they'll instead be focusing on developing whole virus vaccines, which use a different technology to battle viruses.
This does not mean anything for the current vaccines that are in existence. The flu vaccine is not an mRNA vaccine, but I think, again, this is really where are we going in the future?
The American Medical Association says they're concerned about this plan, pointing out that COVID vaccines saved countless lives.
This is just the latest in a string of vaccine-related decisions made by RFK Jr., who has pulled back recommendations around the COVID-19 shot and fired the panel that makes vaccine recommendations. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
We are off to a hot afternoon. Temperatures are going to be close to 100 degrees this afternoon. Heat index values even higher. There are some folks, though, that are getting some rain, particularly closer to the coast. So let's go ahead, take a look at the satellite and the radar. You can see down near Victoria, just a couple of passing showers. This is honestly a very summer-like weather pattern for us. where we have a few coastal downpours, it being mainly a mostly sunny and hot afternoon around San Antonio. It is already 89 in the Alamo City, already 91 in New Braunfels and in Del Rio, 91 in Cotulla. We've still got several hours of daytime heating, usually see our peak high right around 5, 6 o'clock. So with 5 more hours of heating to go, we're easily going to be close to 100 degrees this afternoon. 99 for the high, a coastal shower possible, feeling like 103, but it's going to get even hotter in the coming days as that heat high settles over. We've also got to take a quick check of the tropics. We are in the middle of the peak of Atlantic hurricane season. I'll have the latest on what we're watching over the next 1 to 2 weeks coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, just 2 days before the deadly July 4th floods in Kerrville, the city's emergency management coordinator turned in his retirement notice after 31 years of service. The city of Kerrville said that Jeremy Hughes left his position on July 24th. That is 1 week before the leaders in Kerrville and Kerr County testified in front of the Joint Texas House and Senate Committee on Flood Response and Preparedness. Now, if you remember that testimony, it revealed that some county leaders were out of town or asleep as the crisis began. It was also revealed that despite preparing to retire, Hughes was on duty the morning of the floods and helped coordinate the response. KSAT has requested the notice of Hughes' retirement.
Well, struck and killed in her own front yard by a fiber optic cable. Today, the family of Glenda Roth filed a wrongful death lawsuit in state district court.
Well, the suit claims the cable was hanging well below the required height and that the truck driver who hit it could have avoided it. Our Dylan Collier sat down with Glenda's loved ones.
She was like that brightest star in the sky.
She made life fun, and she had a way of making ordinary moments and ordinary days special.
The morning of May 2nd, Glenda Roth and her husband Bill were working on the front yard of their north side home.
I heard the truck before I saw it.
When this hauler truck ran into an installed fiber optic cable hanging in the roadway.
I'll never forget it the rest of my life. I saw it go by, and the cable was coming across the top of the dumpster in midair, just like a whip.
Roth turned and saw his wife of 16 years, Glenda, on her back, unconscious, with a large, deep gash above her left eye. Glenda was rushed to Brooke Army Medical Center, where she would remain in intensive care for nearly 2 weeks.
Walking in and seeing her laying there, she didn't look like my mom anymore. She was unrecognizable. The damage was so severe.
Glenda's family made the heart-wrenching decision to take her off life support. Glenda Roth died May 15th at the age of 64.
I don't want this to happen to somebody else. I want the people that did this to be held responsible, and that somebody else doesn't have to go through the rest of their life without the woman they love.
Enter the Crosley Law Firm and attorney Brennan Jenkins. A wrongful death lawsuit filed today accuses AT&T and Quest Utility Construction of hanging the line well below the national standard height, and the dump truck driver of operating the vehicle in a negligent manner.
Each of these companies has a part in either creating or ignoring the dangerous conditions that ultimately resulted in Glenda's passing.
Months after Glenda's death,
she was the love of my life. I prayed for her. I prayed that I would somehow meet her before I died, and sure enough, it would happen.
For KSAT Investigates, I'm Dylan Collier.
Well, the lawsuit seeks more than $1 million in damages. KSAT has reached out to all 3 companies named in the suit. Only AT&T officials responded, saying they received our inquiry and they are looking into it.
We finally know how a mother will be punished more than 4 years after she was accused in the death of her 18-month-old baby. She pled guilty to 1 count of intentionally or knowingly causing serious bodily injury to a child. Chairez was sentenced to 20 years. That includes time she's already served. She was arrested in March of 2021. 1 month later, baby James' remains were found under the mobile home where they used to live. After the ruling, baby James' aunt spoke with KSAT.
What are we telling people, that it's okay? Oh, go ahead.
kill your child. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get any time. It's a slap on your hand. It's a slap in James's face. You're guilty of not providing James with love. Guilty of him being found dead. You're guilty of being a poor excuse of a mother and a human being.
Marisol Benavides also says she's disappointed there won't be a trial. She was hoping that she could provide answers as to why this happened.
Well, going back to school maybe for some kiddos can be a drag, but sporting new gear is always fun. How some local students were able to snag new shoes for free to start the school year.
And a major U.S. brand has a big announcement, how it's growing its footprint in the U.S. and how it could be a big win for the manufacturing industry in the U.S. Federal employees will no longer have to list their weekly accomplishments in an email. The Office of Personnel Management says it's rolling back the 5 things process implemented by Elon Musk. Back in February, federal workers started receiving emails asking them to explain what they did the week prior. Musk, who led the Department of Government Efficiency at the time, said not complying would be taken as a resignation. OPM, which essentially is the human resources for the federal government, has said responses were voluntary, but now they're getting rid of the emails altogether. OPM says it is transitioning to performance reviews with regular check-ins.
Well, Apple is set to invest another $100 billion to expand its operations in the U.S. The White House says President Donald Trump will make that announcement official on Wednesday. The initial $100 billion adds to a previous $500 billion the tech giant already committed to. The Trump administration has made a push for Apple and other tech companies to return or produce more of their products in the U.S. It's the administration's effort to have companies become less reliant on facilities mainly in China, India, and Vietnam.
Well, after a pretty hectic start to the summer, we are finally starting to enter into the dog days of summer where it seems like the weather is the same day after day after day. The aquifer is down 0.4 foot over the last 24 hours, and in the pollen count, molds are down, but they're still moderate. In the forecast, we're going to be talking about how temperatures will be near 100 degrees each day, and mainly any rain would be restrained to the coast. However, I do have my sights set on the tropics. We'll be watching the tropics closely over the next 2 weeks. We're about to be in the middle of the peak of Atlantic hurricane season. Details after the break. Well, welcome back. Let's go ahead and get into our weather headlines. So the temperatures will be kind of the same every single day. We're going to be near 100 degrees daily. And for the most part, it'll be quiet around San Antonio. A few coastal pop-up downpours are possible. But really what we're going to be focusing on in the next couple of weeks is watching the tropics, because we're going to be in the middle of Atlantic hurricane season. So let's start with the tropics. Out there right now, we've got an area that just got downgraded from a 40 to about a 20 to 30% chance of development off of the Atlantic coast. Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Dexter is falling apart as it moves north and east away from the United States. And then there's another area of disturbed weather right here that has about a 60% chance of becoming the next named system. This would likely be a system for the fishes and not for anybody on land, but we'll keep you posted. Beyond that, beyond the next 7 days, there's another area of indications that we could see some development within the next 2 weeks, from August 13th to August 19th. There's a greater than a 40% chance of development. And this is that area where if we see development here east of the Indies, this is the area that we could easily see further development into potentially the Gulf, impacting some land from Mexico all the way over to Florida. So we will keep you posted. This is what we're going to be watching very carefully in the next 2 weeks. Of course, any system in the Gulf is worth monitoring for this area. Now, Atlantic hurricane season peaks on September 10th. So here's where we're at right now. We're at typically where we start to see the activity ramp up, and that's exactly what we are seeing. So that's why we're going to be watching carefully over the next couple of weeks the Atlantic to see what develops out there and if it impacts Texas at all. Outside right now in San Antonio, it's 89, feeling already like 93, 89 in New Braunfels, 90 in Del Rio. It's 86 in Bernie and 87 in Kerrville, but even in Kerrville, it feels like 93. Saturated soils out in Kerr County. Makes sense why they're dealing with heat index value pretty high up there. Looking at your KSAT 12-hour forecast for the rest of the day, mostly sunny, feeling like 102, 103 with a coastal shower or two possible, 99 for the high. And then later on this evening, we'll be looking at a clear sky, and by midnight, we'll be at 83. So it is going to be a fairly quiet evening for us. And over the next several days, take a look at this. We're going to be close to 100 degrees every single day. Not too much hotter than what is average. This is our hottest time of the year, usually here in San Antonio, so it makes sense that we're dealing with the triple digits. So far, we have had 9 100-degree days in San Antonio. That is an improvement from last year when we had 27. 2023 was our most triple-digit days on record at 75, and on average, we see about 18. Looking at the futurecast, that heat high is going to be building overhead in the coming days, which is why temperatures are going to be close to 101 in San Antonio. And then by the weekend and early next week, a low pressure system could bring 1 or 2 spotty showers. So that's why we have a small chance Monday through Tuesday for a couple of isolated downpours.
We'll take it while we can.
Yes, we will. Thank you, Sarah. Well, Fresh Picks for free, not a bad way to start the new school year. How donations made this possible for some local students. Well, if you would like to save a little money on back to school stuff, do not forget about tax-free weekend. So it's coming up this weekend. This will be through midnight, Sunday, August 10th.
You can buy clothes, shoes, school supplies, and backpacks under $100 without paying taxes. Qualifying items can be purchased from a Texas store or online from a business in the state.
Well, a fresh beginning. That is how one student living in the Salvation Army's emergency shelter described his excitement for the new school year.
He and several other children in need had the chance to shop at Shoe Carnival free of charge. As Japhanie Gray explains, it's all thanks to donations made to the Salvation Army.
Why did you pick these particular shoes?
Because I love pink and my whole outfit's pink, and I really want pink braids to go with the whole outfit.
What grade are you going into?
6th, 2nd, 5th, 4th.
10th grade.
How does it feel seeing these kids running around, happy, excited?
It's amazing. It's such a great feeling. And honestly, like I remember when I was a kid in school, and that's the thing I always look forward to, is that new pair of shoes to start that first day with, right?
When was the last time you got a new pair of shoes?
Honestly, like a year and a half ago.
What, in your opinion, is the perfect pair of shoes?
Stuff that makes you feel confident and make you look good. I describe the perfect shoe like I love Nike. My sister loves Nike.
A good balance in the sole of the shoe, making sure that you can walk straight.
These are the rainbow ones.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah. I wanted to get them because it'll kind of match the whole outfit.
How happy are you that the Salvation Army was able to get you guys these?
I feel blessed. It does feel like a blessing from God. It's truly it's something that is hard to describe, but I feel a lot of serenity and security.
Any encouraging words for them?
Keep on going, keep trying.
I know I've been through a lot, and honestly, my biggest thing was positivity always.
Be confident in the new school year, make friends, have fun.
Japhanie Gray, KSAT 12 News.
I love seeing how excited they are.
Yes, and I love the selfie at the end because you see she's a Japanese there, and then all the kids are excited with their shoes.
It's so great.
Love it.
Love it.
Well, the organization says coming up in September, they plan to hold another shoe-in event.
They are partnering with school districts to give 2,000 kids pairs of brand new shoes.
Well, take a look at this. It's a state fair finalist of the 2025 Big Tex Choice Awards. The mouth-watering entries were narrowed down from a record-breaking 76, to 15. So the creations include the Vietnamese Crunch Dog, 2 chocolate funnel cakes fry. Okay, funnel cake fries. Wow. Okay, that's different. Chocolate funnel cake fries. And then the cookie stuffed milkshakes. Oh, and a lot more.
Yeah, that looks really good, actually. Final contenders are vying for the top titles of either Best Taste Savory or Best Taste Sweet. In addition, honors will go to the most creative and the newest category, Best Taste Sipper, and that's for drinks. So the winners will be announced on August 21st.
Will it stay fair? Yeah. Can't wait.
So yummy.
And you might be wondering, wow, Sarah, you did a costume change. I did, because this, Science with Sarah. Okay, it's coming back. Take a look at your screen. If you want me to come out to your school, or if you're a teacher and want me to come out to your school, scan that QR code. It'll take you to a page on how to apply. It's a random drawing, okay? If you enter, you can get randomly drawn for me to come out and do a fun science experiment. All I gotta say, science equals fun and sometimes explosions.
You make it fun.
Check it out.
We love it. Can't wait.
Thanks so much for watching.